Welcome, welcome. Now we're going to look at weekly performance for Google stock, and then we're going to graph that weekly performance, which is pretty easy to do. Before I do that, I'm just going to very quickly show you why I'm putting in the formula that I'm putting in. Let's say that we had an old price of $100. That was the old weekly closing price. And then the next week, the price was $110. And we wanted to know how much did it go up? And you're probably thinking, well, it went up 10%. That's good. I mean, it went up $10, right? But we were thinking more in percentage terms. And so the way that I'm going to do that is a two-step process. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take the new price divided by the old price. And what this is saying is that the new price is 110% of the old price. But I'm really interested in how the old price changed. What was the performance, not what percentage of the old price is the new price. And so what I do is I subtract 1 or 100% from that total. So I'm going to take new divided by old minus 1, and it's going to say, hey, last week it was 100, this week it's 110, and that means that it went up by 10%. So the performance formula is going to be new divided by old minus 1 or minus 100%. And we're just going to do that down the entire column, this weekly performance column that I just created. And I can't start at the first row because the first row is the oldest row. So I'm going to start at the second oldest row, and I'm going to take adjusted close divided by the old adjusted close minus 1. And it says, hey, for that 1 week, the price went down by approximately 2%. And then the next week, it went down by approximately 5.7%. I'm going to do this autofill. And finally, I want all of this to be in percentages. That's my Google price series. It's how Google stock performed on a weekly basis across time. And what I would now like to do is I would like to get a sense as to the distribution of performance. And to do that, I'm going to head up to Insert. I'm going to go Chart. And it defaults to a line chart. We are going to head to a let's see, column chart. I'd really like to see histogram chart. And that is a histogram chart of weekly performance for Google stock. A couple observations. That looks kind of bell-shaped, doesn't it? Now, it doesn't look exactly bell-shaped. Nobody would think of that as being an exact bell curve or normal distribution. But what we're seeing is that stock price data in general is not bell-shaped, but it's not far off from bell-shaped. And there's a good reason for that. Some weeks are really good weeks, and some weeks are really bad weeks. And most weeks are pretty good or they're pretty bad, but it takes a lot to move the needle big in one direction or the other, really good or really bad. So you just don't see that as much. And that is the real essence of this lesson, is that hiding under things that may be of interest to us, like, say, stock price or stock performance, is a distribution. And often, certainly not always, but often that distribution is bell-shaped in nature. Now it's your turn. We want you to take the stock that you downloaded, and we want you to perform the same analysis. We want you to create a weekly performance column with the formula new divided by old minus 1. Remember to start at row 2, not row 1. And then we want you to head up to Insert, Chart. Once you've highlighted the entire column, you can do that just by clicking on H or whatever your column is, and head down until you get to histogram, and you will find that Google Sheets will create a histogram for you. It'll even call it weekly performance if that's how you title your column. And I strongly suspect that you will end up with something that looks pretty darn bell-shaped in nature.